This is the vlog for December 29th, 2018. 29th, yeah. The fifth day of Christmas. 5 golden rings. Or just gold rings. Gold rings. I actually talked to somebody at Starbucks this morning about this. My understanding of the days of Christmas are that the oldest traditions associated with the event start the 12 days of Christmas on Christmas, and then keep going for a little less than 2 weeks. Couldn't tell you why it's 12, but I have to assume it's probably because there were 12 good apostles. And each night was a celebration and a chance to exchange gifts. Hence the long list of gifts from the song 12 Days of Christmas. The song is actually called On the 12th Day of Christmas, I think. But each day is also meant to be, I guess, a time of reflection for Christians. Not that I think a lot of them are reflecting an awful lot these days. The modern holiday is really about the build up to Christmas Day, and then the following week is just a period of relaxation, as most businesses and schools do not convene. And things pick right back up, usually the day after New Year's. So that New Year's is actually, let's see here, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 1. So the 8th day of Christmas is New Year's. But the actual 12th day of Christmas, let's see here, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, yeah, January 5th. The 12th night, actually, was sort of a weird one because as the last day of celebration, this is my understanding, and I could be mixed up or misinformed, but the 12th night, was a time for sort of silliness. There's an old European tradition known as mumming, wherein typically people dress up, travel around town or from estate to estate in the country, and perform little skits. They might pretend to be elderly versions of themselves or their own grandparents. They might dress as men if they're women, and women if they're men. They might be fairies or elves or cartoon characters in this modern age. They could be any number of things. But the idea is that the people who were hosting the mummers would let them in. The mummers would do some sort of minor performance, jokes, or a little story, usually something quite silly. And they would get to stay in the house, stay in the warmth, given that this was usually done in wintertime. And often they were fed, and sometimes they were given little gifts as they go. Mumming is independent of Christmas. It can be done at many different holidays. It's obviously quite popular around Halloween as well. Some people think that the Halloween tradition borrowed from the mumming tradition. But 12th night would have been like an ideal time for mummers to do their thing. If you've ever heard of a mummer's farce, that's where the term actually originates. I learned all this in a Scandinavian studies class, actually. And mumming is not specific to Scandinavian nations. I know that it was might still be practiced in Ireland today. And I like the concept. I think it's a cool idea. Traveling around, doing a little song and dance or telling jokes just to, share the company of a warm house in a cold night. And the idea of 12th night being a culmination of the celebration of Christmas, the celebration of the start of winter, all these different elements coming together, but most of all, community, getting together and doing something. And Shakespeare wrote a play 400 years ago called Twelfth Night or What You Will, which is meant to be performed on January 5th, the 12th night of Christmas. And it's a silly story about a man dressing up as a woman, and a woman, or rather, a woman dressing up as a man, and another man dressing up as himself, and getting everybody quite confused. And it was definitely in the same style as A Mummer's Farce. It was easy. It was lighthearted. It had a clown named Feste. And it gives us the line, "Some are born unto greatness, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them." I don't know which of those I'm going to be. I don't know if I'm ever going to have greatness. I'm glad that I have this in whatever form it is to prove that I was here during the year 2018. And 2018 is rapidly coming to a close. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve, and it will be the last day I have completely by myself, although I'm not picking up my folks from the airport until late on Monday. And we're going to do a little bit of an online New Year's Eve party, my friends and I. So that should be fun. But until then, I'm Eric Spornitz, and tomorrow will be better.